About 2 out of 3 Gen X men never got a tattoo. You're probably one of them. And every once in a while, somebody notices. Usually at the same kind of place. Backyard barbecue, garage fridge, standing near a cooler while somebody suddenly looks at your arm twice. Wait, you seriously never got a tattoo? And for a second, they almost seemed confused by it. Because now, tattoos are normal. Half the people at the gym have them. Office managers have sleeves. Parents at school pickup have symbols, quotes, dates, coordinates, wolves, compasses, arrows. But somehow, you never did it. And the strange part is, you almost did. There was probably a version of you around 23 standing in a tattoo shop, staring at flash art while something almost clicked into place. And then something stopped you. Not fear, something quieter. You looked at that tattoo and thought one simple thing. Will I still want this at 45? Most people don't think that way at 23, but Gen X men often did. Because your generation learned early that identity changes. Music changes, opinions change, personalities change. You watched yourself stop liking bands you once built your whole identity around. You watched trends explode, then disappear 5 years later like they never existed. So when somebody asked you to permanently attach one moment of your personality onto your skin forever, you paused. And honestly, the statistics suggest you weren't crazy for doing that. Research shows tattoo regret is highest among people who got them young. And deep down, you already understood something most people don't admit. The future version of you might not agree with the current one. But there's another layer underneath all this. Gen X men tend to have unusually high skepticism toward trends. When everybody suddenly starts doing the same thing, your first instinct usually isn't excitement. It's distance. Watch first. Wait. See how it ages. You saw tattoos move from biker culture and military history into mainstream suburban life. And after a while, the popularity itself started making you suspicious. Because once everybody starts calling something individuality, it usually stops being individuality. And maybe that's the real reason your arm stayed clean. Not because you lacked identity, because you never needed to advertise it. You grew up before social media turned personality into public performance. Your generation developed identity privately. Nobody needed constant proof of who they were. And that's why a lot of Gen X men still feel strangely disconnected from modern culture. Everything now feels announced. Bios, captions, personal brands, public identity everywhere. But your generation was different. You kept parts of yourself internal. And honestly, there's something psychologically rare about that now. Your clean arm says something most people completely miss. It says, I left room for the possibility that I might change. And maybe that's not indecision. Maybe that's wisdom. Because after enough years, you realize permanence deserves caution, especially when human beings are constantly evolving underneath the surface. So when somebody at a barbecue notices your untattooed arm and asks why you never got one, the real answer is probably simpler than people think. You just never fully trusted temporary versions of yourself with permanent decisions. And 30 years later, you still don't regret that choice. Gen X Dave here. See you in the next one.